I'm going to do a quick track deconstruction of my latest release, Freed from Desire, featuring the vocals of Brianna Ruelas. I have to say that this track is a little bit different style than I normally would. I hope you enjoy it. It was a little bit of a stretch for me, but I actually really like the outcome. And at the end of the video, I'll cover some lessons learned and some things that I would do differently, so stick around for those. I am giving away a free download. I'll leave a link in the comments below. So we're going to jump into the track deconstruction now, and I'll just let the track play through for about a minute.
Want more and more. People just want more and more. Freedom and love is what he's looking for. Free from desire, mind and senses purified. Free from desire, mind and senses purified. Free from desire, mind and senses purified. Free from desire. Na 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 na.
So now I'll go through each of the instruments and we'll look at them kind of one by one or like different, maybe a couple at a time. And I'm going to start with the kick and the bass together. The bass line is actually really simple. It doesn't change really that much throughout the entire song. And it kind of has like this, I don't know, just like a little bit of tribal groove, a little bit. And actually it kind of mirrors the bass line a little bit of the original Club Banger by Gala. All right, now we're gonna look at the Groove Agent drums, and so it's just a drum machine. Now I use a combination of drums, and then I use loops a lot of times to just kind of fill out different frequencies and maybe give it a little bit more groove and flavor. But here is I'm gonna have the kick drum going with the Groove Agent drums. They're really simple, and I really wish that I would have done a little bit more of a tribal pattern with these drums, but I don't know. I kind of went back and forth between, okay, should I make it a little bit more groovy and tribal, or a little bit more laid back and stripped down. And I also have some tops loops. I'll just play those with the kick drum. So it's essentially a shaker. All right, here's the other tops loop, which is a box shaker with the hat. And then let's go ahead and listen to those with the Groove Agent drums as well. And just mind you, the Groove Agent drums are MIDI, and then obviously the loops are audio. Now let's listen to the percussion backbeat. I've got a little bit of a backbeat just to provide a little bit more of a flavor in the background. Okay, now I'm gonna go into my comps, and comps for me is short for accompaniment. So I've just essentially got the main piano, and I'll keep going with that. And the piano instrument that I'm using is from the Arturia 5 or Arturia V Collection. That's probably V for virtual. I don't know why I said 5. Roman numeral 5. I don't know. Maybe. But the piano is pretty basic. Again, I didn't really do a whole lot with the instrumentation with this. Didn't make it too intricate, just because the vocal was really good and I wanted to highlight that. And this is my first time kind of doing this style, and so I wanted to keep things simple. All right, and then also throughout here, I have this kind of synth sequence. And again, it kind of sounds a little bit reminiscent of something you might hear in Afro House. I like it just because it just kind of has a nice little groove to it. I've got that kind of like using automation to adjust the filter on it. All right, there's my automation. And then I also have a metalizer on this this synth, so to give it a little bit more of a metallic sound. So I'm using Cubase's or Steinberg's built-in Retrologue 2. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the vocal. Brianna did a really great job with the vocal, and yeah, I just wanted to highlight her talent.
My love has got no money, he's got his strong beliefs. My love has got no power, he's got his strong beliefs.
So on my vocal processing chain, I've got this going to a bus. And then I've got essentially a vocal writer to even out the different frequencies. And then I also have a vocal chain plugin, which is Steinberg's vocal. It's got all of these plugins kind of built in to one plugin, which makes sense because on a lot of vocal chains, we have a lot of plugins. And this actually kind of streamlines things a little bit. And then I also have Soothe 2. And of course, I've got another compressor on there and a delay. Now, I always struggle with delay because I think that I'm using too much when I'm hearing it solo.
My love has got no money, he's got a strong belief.
But if we
no power, he's got a strong belief.
Take it into context with the rest of the mix, I think it works really well.
Money, he's got a strong beliefs. My love has got no power, he's got a strong beliefs.
All right, and then finally we have the effects, or EFX, and got a typical reverse crash and then a little bit of a riser to kind of help with creating some transitional elements. And then I have I took this riser and did it in reverse so that it could kind of mirror the riser on like the, after the climax. And then I've also got like some background atmosphere. You can barely hear it, but it adds a little bit of character. And it's sidechained as well, so it kind of goes in time with the beat. Now let's move on to the chorus, and I'll get into that a little bit because there is more happening there. So this is where I'm adding like a little bit of a synth arpeggio to kind of build up to where the hook. And so, the Free From Desire part is kind of like more like the build up to this ultimate hook where, that classic na 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 part. And then you'll hear the piano, like another piano layered in that's coming in where I'm using automation to, again, bring in and out the frequency and the resonance of this other piano, that signature riff that you all know from the original song.
Free from desire, mind and senses purified.
So this arpeggio actually is, you can almost barely hear it when the song is playing, but it adds a little bit of flavor. And then it finally goes in, so you got the chorus, and then it finally goes into that na 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 piano hook part. Yeah, so this piano riff, I probably should have made it a little bit more prominent, and I think I should have used it a little bit more throughout the song. Yeah, I'd probably do it a little bit differently next time. Listen to these pianos. On some level, they're a little bit competing, but then they're different. So the one comes out a little bit more than the other when I have like the frequency open up all the way. All right, and then you go in, and then we get into the second verse, and during the breakdown and the build up, I like to change things up a little bit and make it kind of more of a third part, if you will. Everything is stripped down except for the piano and the vocal and some. All right, so one of the lessons learned is that I actually had like this pad sound that I had completely forgotten to turn up when I was mixing, and I must have been rushing through. So that's one lesson that I learned that of a mistake that I will not make again. Something that I would do differently also is I would beef up the percussion a little bit more to make it a little bit more Latin vibe. Or a more percussive vibe that is more reminiscent of, I don't know, the beach or poolside. And then there's also a synth sequence in there that kind of gets lost in the mix. I should have carved out a little bit more of a space for that and made it more prominently in the mix. And then I also should have included more of that signature piano riff, that riff that almost makes the song famous almost as much as that na 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 part. Yeah, I used it pretty sparingly, and I would have used it a little bit more if I were to do this track over again. So let me know what you think. How would you approach this differently? What do you like? What do you not like? I would like to hear your feedback.